Was there an ocean on Mars? This color image was created from the nadir channel oriented perpendicular to the surface of Mars and the color channels of the HRSC. It shows a network of huge fractures in Utopia Planitia. New research results link the formation of these huge polygons in this region to the previous existence of an ocean in the Martian northern lowlands. These kind of fractures remind me of dry lake beds on Earth. This is why I think that there was oceans there. This is why I think the water level below these fractures possibly is not that far down. And these fractures are a clue. I have a surprise for you about these fractures. When we start looking at the structures of Mars, the monuments of Mars, and that's going to be our next topic. So buckle up, because I have some surprising information about Cydonia that I don't think many people talk about. I want to show you guys how to find Cydonia. So first of all, we're going to spin the planet around, and it's in Arabia Terra. We're going to start zooming down the northern hemisphere, and first thing you're going to look for is the coffin. Once you find the coffin, you're going to go up from there a little bit, and then you're going to go to the bear paw. The bear paw with 3 little toes. And the toe to the left, you want to go up from the left toe, the far left toe, to go towards the squid. Once you have found the squid, then you have found Cydonia. It's the top of the squid. You'll see these 2 eyes on the squid. Now north of there, you're going to find the city of Cydonia. This is where the face of Mars is, and all the monuments of Mars in the region of Cydonia. There's the face. Can you see it? Let me help you. We call this the arrow. It's kind of shaped like an arrow pointing down, and that's pointing kind of right to where the face is. And then this is Cydonia, so let's take a better look at this place. Let's get a zoom in. Let's take it off the NASA blurry picture. Let's take it off the classic NASA blurry and let's bring it in a little tighter. So here we are. This is the face. This picture has actually been, in my opinion, photoshopped by NASA too. Kind of give it like a mucky, flooded feel, like a deep mud feel. But we're going to fix that later on. I'll show you some more the correct pictures. But this is the face, and this is the city of Mars. So let's learn a little bit about this area. So I want to talk about my favorite picture of Cydonia. I probably have spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours looking at this picture. This picture is 35A72. This is the best picture of Cydonia I think there is, and the most famous. This is what Gregory Molinar and Vincent DiPietro, when they looked at this picture, they thought, oh, we need to start looking for pictures in NASA's archives because this just looks too incredible. First of all, we have the face. To give you an idea of scale, the face is 1.5 miles long by 1 mile wide. If you look at the nose, you'll see this little dot. It looks like a nostril, but it's not a nostril. It's just the artifacts on the picture itself. You can see there's lots of dots everywhere, but it made it look like there was a nostril on the face. It made it look like too much like a human face. So people were like, that can't be real, but that nostril is not really there. It's just an artifact of the picture. So it's just a dot. It just happened to line up to where a nostril would be. Let's look at the shadow of the face. The shadow kind of looks like a rounded triangular shape. So it's like a soft triangle. So I'm thinking there is a little bit of a kind of like a rooftop shape to the face, which kind of looks like some kind of a primate face. If you look at the picture without the nostril, it looks like a primate kind of shape, a primate kind of monkey face to me. Now let's look over here at what they call the city. First of all, I noticed this impact. I see this round circle here. It looks to me like something hit here. Not really like a crater, but there's some kind of an impact, a circle I don't know what that is, but it looks to me like some kind of an impact. This impact may have damaged what appears to be structures to the upper left of the circle. And that structure is known as the fortress. And to me, it looks like this wall might have been broken, busted inward. Now at a right angle connected to the broken wall, we have this other wall that has these little circles on it. These fine little details in this picture. And only in this picture, you see these little circles. If you're wondering what this thing is here, I'm pretty sure this is an artifact that's on the picture. It's just an artifact like the dots. But overall in this picture, you don't see any kind of detail like this in Cydonia after this picture. Once they realize, they go, oh God, we can't be showing this stuff because there's just too much detail. Every picture after that, the cameras were supposed to be way better in technology, but no, they're not as detailed. Or either that, they have been photoshopped. They like totally muck these pictures up. But this is the original pictures. All the newer pictures of Cydonia to me are trash, pretty much. This is the picture you need to be looking at. Now let's go up here to the above the fortress. You'll see these squares, like these right angles right here. This to me like a big foundation's huge. It's football fields long by football fields across. And there's two of them right here. We can kind of get a general impression of this other one right here, but it's lined up with this like a city block. Okay, it's like a city block. It's squared. All these things kind of line up, and they also kind of line up to the face. Now, this is a very important feature. These squares. This is again the detail. You don't see these things very often, only in this picture, but you can clearly see there is some kind of square there. Very important. This to me says that this is once there's structures here that are lined up and built in a formation. Now let's move to the left of the fortress, and what you'll see is what looks to be like a pyramid shaped structure. I wonder if it's a pyramid shape. Well, look at the shadow. It comes up to a fine point, and we look at these angles. Let's compare these angles to the pyramids on the Giza Plateau. This is a pyramid of the Giza Plateau, and this is what appears to be a pyramid in the region of Cydonia on Mars. How often in nature and mountains do we see a pyramid shape that's just that pointed in a shadow on mountains? Okay, this is some kind of a structure, and it's huge. It is huge. That shadow is at least over a mile long. It's a long shadow. So that is the city. Okay, this is why this is the most important picture. Now, I want to show you some LiDAR pictures of the Amazon jungle to give you an idea of how structures kind of look. It was actually these pictures of the Amazon that I looked at, and it reminded me of Mars, and it made me make this video. It brought me back to researching this face and the information that I already knew. I was like, well, I might as well do a video on Cydonia. I want to show you how this city goes out further. All these structures continue out to the left. There's many more structures, and they go farther down along the way. Okay, down along the way. I'm going to show you my next favorite picture. This is like the holy grail of Cydonia. It looks like even more structures continue out here to the left. There's many more structures, and they go farther down along the way. Okay, this is a far back picture, and we can see the face right here. We can see the squid. Here's the two eyes of the squid, and here's the city. Now remember all the details in the city. Now imagine all these could be structures, and what's the detail that could be on all these structures that are kind of lined up in the same way the city was, okay, along the same line. We could see all these what appear to be just as much as structures as the ones we just looked at, okay, but we don't have the detail of these other ones. Only on the city, on the little corner, do we have the detail. All we have is this kind of far back view. We can imagine if we had that kind of detail, if we had a LiDAR scan of all these anomalies here, all these formations, let's call them formations, what would they reveal? But here's the biggest surprise I told you about earlier. Look up here. top of the picture, to the top left-hand corner, you'll see the fractures. You'll see the fractures. So what did that tell us earlier? This was an ocean. This was an ocean up here, top left-hand corner. All this was the ocean. Come down to the far bottom left. Where's the fractures at? There's none. Okay, that means the ocean wasn't there. So what we're looking at here is a coastline. This is a coastline, and see all these all these bizarre shapes, and all these looks like, to me, they're the same kind of shapes that are in the city. You'll see a lot of right angles in this stuff. Look at this one right here. This one right here is one of my favorites. This is a right angle right here. Some kind of a dock looks like it to me. Who knows? I'm just guessing, right? But I know that this is the ocean right here at one time. These monuments were built along the coast, right? Does that sound familiar? Do we do that on Earth a lot? So those are my favorite pictures, and that's the bombshell about Cydonia, is that if it is artificial, it could have been a coastal city. Let's talk about pareidolia. Pareidolia is the tendency for perception to impose a meaningful interpretation on a nebulous stimulus, usually visual, so that one sees an object, pattern, or meaning where there is none. It is a type of apophenia. Common examples are perceived images of animals, faces, or objects in cloud formations. Let's look down here. What do we see? Oh, that looks familiar. Satellite photograph of a mesa in the Cydonia region of Mars, often called the face on Mars, and cited as evidence of extraterrestrial habitation. A more detailed photograph taken in different lighting in 2001 shows how it's a natural rock formation. Those are your folks at NASA and your folks at Wikipedia hand in hand. Whenever I see Wikipedia asking for money, I wonder, why don't they just ask the people who control them, such as NASA is right now. So that's the video here. I hope you watch my latest video. This is a short version of the expanded video, which shows how NASA is covering up the face on Mars, the monuments of Mars. It's called Revealing the Hidden Truths of Mars. It's a full video. It contains some of this video here, so people don't have to watch a whole hour video. But if you want to learn more, please watch that video. It dives into the corruption, and it dives into the cover-up of these anomalies in the region of Cydonia on Mars. So thanks for watching, wishes well doing, and I'll see you next time.